Hello there, my spooky, scary skeletons. It's Chloe in real life, and welcome back to another episode of my Halloween Spooktacular. I'm really excited for today's episode because today, The Nun comes out to theaters. I am so excited. If you don't know, The Nun is actually part of the Conjuring universe, which is a series of now 5 movies that each tell a story but are all connected. Let's find out more. Alright guys, so there is a lot to unpack here. I do have to say the Conjuring universe or the Conjuring series has to be one of my favorite horror movies, like whole horror movie series ever. The story and detail is great, and it's one of those horror movies or horror movie series that isn't just all about jump scares. They really focus on the story and the plot, and I love it. It makes it so much scarier when you know what's going on. So the very first movie is The Conjuring, the first Conjuring, which is a story about Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are paranormal investigators, and they deal specifically with people who have demons related to them, or they're in their house or attached to them. So Ed and Lorraine Warren go to help a family who just moved into a new house that has a lot of bad history, and now they have a demon following them. So that is pretty much the first movie. I'm going to try to stay as spoiler-free as possible. And then we have Annabelle, and I'm telling you in the order that they were released. And next comes Annabelle, which was released back in 2014. And Annabelle is the story of the Annabelle doll, which you've probably seen a picture of her. She's not the prettiest doll. She's actually pretty creepy and pretty scary. So Annabelle is the story of a couple who starts to experience some pretty scary paranormal occurrences involving the vintage Annabelle doll. That all of this begins after their house is invaded by satanic cultists. So not the best situation for this couple. And if you're scared of dolls, you're going to be pretty scared by this movie. I'm not even scared of dolls. Now I'm scared by this movie. Then next up we have the second Conjuring, which Ed and Lorraine Warren are back. And this time they are going down to London to help out a single mother and her kids who are being terrorized by something that is within their home. So it's a pretty scary adventure, and you get to learn a little bit more about Ed and Lorraine Warren's past, which is very interesting. And finally, we have Annabelle Creation, which before The Nun was my favorite movie in the Conjuring series. And that is a story about a couple, and the husband is a doll maker whose daughter sadly passes away. So they open their house to a nun. Don't worry, she's nice and she's safe. And some orphans, and they start experiencing some pretty spooky things due to the Annabelle doll. Ooh. And then we have The Nun, which comes out today. And I'm about to go see it. Let's go! Alright, so I just got back from The Nun. I went to see it, and I have to say, it's probably my new favorite in the Conjuring series. It was fantastic. Something I always loved about the Conjuring movies is that they had a story. And I notice a lot of times with horror movies, it's more about jump scares and, oh, look at scary monsters, instead of having a well thought out and deep storyline. I love that these movies, parts of them are connected, and you have to see them all to really have just the total experience. You can watch them on their own, but when you watch them all together in the way that they're supposed to be done, it amplifies your experience so much, because you'll see things from previous movies and other movies and be like, oh my gosh, I know that shows that it's all the same and it's all in the story. And I love the way that the director is telling this story by not releasing it in the way that it chronologically is. So there's the way that it's been released, which is The Conjuring 1, Annabelle, Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun. But then there's the way that it chronologically takes place, which is The Nun, the Annabelle Creation, I believe, the first Conjuring, Annabelle, and then The Conjuring 2. And I want to go back and rewatch the entire series in the chronological order, because it's just to see the storyline play out in one full sweep would just be awesome. But if you're just starting the Conjuring series, don't go see The Nun yet. Just wait, try to avoid spoilers, watch The Conjuring, then Annabelle Creation, then Annabelle, then The Conjuring 2, then Annabelle Creation, and then The Nun. Because when you see how the stories are connected, it just takes it from good to great. Another thing that I loved about not only this movie, but the Conjuring series in general, is the cinematography. If you have seen some of my movie reviews, then you know that I am a sucker for cinematography and interesting shots. There are so many shots in the Conjuring universe that just totally immerses you into the experience of the movie, that makes you feel like you're right behind the character and you yourself are your own character in the film. And I just love that. There's so many shots that you can just see that with the way it's been framed and put together, that you can be looking at something in the foreground, but there could be something in the background happening that you might not see on your first watch through. And that is something that I love, which is the horror and how they do that, because every horror movie has jump scares. You just gotta expect that from a horror movie. But there are so many nowadays that I feel are only jump scares, and that's something that not only The Nun, but all the movies in the Conjuring universe do really well, is that they don't show you everything. Like sometimes you'll just see something in the corner, or there's times where I've seen the first Conjuring a few times now, I'm noticing things that I didn't see my first watch through or even my second watch through. And that is something I love, is how the horror is subtle. And that is something that I feel like all horror movies should do, is something that it feels like you're watching it and you're experiencing it alone. Because of course everyone's going to see the jump scare, but someone might not see someone walking in the background that is scary, and it puts you into that world, and that's something I just love about these movies. Alright, so back to The Nun. So it starts off with a nun who commits suicide, but we're not entirely sure why. So the Vatican sends a priest with a more troubled past, played by Damien Brashear, and a girl who is on the way to becoming a nun, played by Thaisa Farmiga, who, fun fact, is the sister to Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren in the first and second Conjuring. So far, their characters aren't related, but they do share some similarities, as in having a Catholic background and having the ability to see visions. So maybe we'll find out more in future films. So they go to an abbey in Romania where the nun committed suicide, and they go into an investigation that leads them to find out that something much more sinister is going on. And usually you would think that a church and nuns are comforting. That's not the case in this movie. That is not the case at all. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at nuns the same way again. And the nun herself, oh, she's so creepy and scary, and even watching the trailers for this movie got me freaked out, is played by Bonnie Aarons, and She was just fantastic. So scary, so creepy. Oh my gosh. Like, obviously, yeah, she had a lot of makeup on, but oh, that face is just burned into my brain. So scary. This movie was terrifying. It was scary, yes, but it was also so tense. I left the theater feeling like I had just done a workout because the whole time I was just so tense and frozen that I left that theater so tired. But oh my goodness, it was amazing. I loved it. Out of all of the Conjuring movies, it was, I have to say, my favorite. I want to see it again, and I can't wait for it to come out on DVD because I will be buying that movie the minute it comes out on DVD and digital download. I will watch it every single day. Okay, well, maybe not every single day because I don't want to have nightmares every night. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a spooky video just like this one. And be sure to go see The Nun. It is in theaters now. And if you see it, leave a comment down below what you thought. But no spoilers, because no one likes getting a movie spoiled that they may go see. So, I'll see you all next time. Bye! Stay spooky. Jump scare! I'm kidding. I'm not that mean.